Being an archipelago near the Pacific Ocean, the Philippines experiences an average of 20 typhoons a year. Perhaps, this is the reason why long hours of rain seems to be very normal to Filipinos. Facing heavy traffic due to floods, waiting for class suspension, and monitoring typhoon signals starts to be a part of our daily lives right after the summer season. However, every once in a while, Filipinos are faced with a typhoon that is out of the ordinary. A typhoon out of their comfort zones, a typhoon that changed their lives forever. In November 1, 1991, Tropical Storm Telma or Uring hit the country and became the deadliest typhoon to overhit the country in history, killing at least 5,081 people and leaving 1,941 to 3,084 missing and presumed dead. While passing over the Philippines, Telma's interaction with the high terrain of some of the islands resulted in torrential rainfall. On Leyte Island, there was a localized downpour that brought total to 22.85 inches of rainfall, with the majority of this falling in a 3-hour span. An unprecedented flash flood took place on the island. Much of the land had been deforested or poorly cultivated and was unable to absorb most of the rain, creating a large runoff. Ormoc City, located past where the Anilao and Malbasag River converge, suffered the brunt of the flood. In just 3 hours, the city was devastated with thousands of homes damaged or destroyed. A total of 4,922 people were killed in the city alone, with 2,300 losing their lives along the riverbank. On September 26, 2009, Typhoon Ondoy, or internationally named Ketsana, caused a widespread tropical disaster and depression among Luzon and Metro Manila. Over 300 people had died, a few people still missing, and others are still being dug up from under the mud and river. The most affected areas of flooding and ragging rivers were low-lying areas of Manila, Rizal, and Pasig. The flash flood was taken by surprise by all Philippine citizens because there was no warning, and a calamity such as that had not happened since 1967. Filipinos were hit by this whirlwind of chaos and sadness.
How can you help or stop the tragedy here in the Philippines?
Siguro, para sa akin, kailangan may disiplina, tapon ng tamang mga basura natin sa tamang tapunan ng basura. Tapos, mahalin natin ang ating kalikasan para sa susunod na mga henerasyon.
How can you help stop the tragedy here in the Philippines?
Bilang individual, I think yung sa simple lang, yung basura mo, tapon mo, tas pag maliliit lang, ibubulsa muna, tas sa basurahan talaga itatapon.
Sir, what is your opinion about the typhoon here in the Philippines right now?
Sa ngayon, bali, ang nakikita ko, hindi na siya kagaya ng mga typhoon before. Siguro mga 20 years, 10 years ago. Ngayon, ang mga typhoon malalakas na. Siguro dahil sa sa climate change. Sa ngayon, kung mababalitaan natin, yung typhoon noon, bihira lang ang mga namamatay. Saka mga baha, hindi ganun kagrabe. Ngayon talagang nakikita mo every ilang oras lang ang typhoon. Talagang grabe na ang baha.
The two typhoons discussed are different yet very similar. While Telma devastated most of Visayas and killed due to flash floods, and Andoy destroyed most of Luzon and Metro Manila because of unexpected floods. The casualties caused by both typhoons could have been prevented if Filipinos were more responsible of the environment. Excessive logging is bad, and more trees in the mountains is good. During heavy rains, the roots of big trees trap a lot of the rainwater. This helps prevent flooding, and this is why the government should protect forested mountains from greedy logging and mining companies. When mining companies dig for metals in the mountains, they must cut the trees. To maximize their profit, these companies often try to escape their responsibility of replanting trees, and the government often allows them to get away with it. But we already know that this leads to the following equation: bald mountains, heavy rains, flash floods, countless preventable deaths. Global warming will make wetter and more vicious tropical typhoons. Because of global warming, storms will now have more rain than usual. This is why flooding is the greater problem now that it used to be. Another effect of global warming is to make typhoons more unpredictable in terms of strength, speed, and path taken. This is why Ondoy attacked Metro Manila with the element of surprise. Pollution makes big, floods a lot bigger. Some parts of Manila experience very high floods during Ondoy, mostly due to blocked canals and drainage. One thing that could be observed during similar types of scenarios are the mountains of trash left after the flood subsided. Had there been no garbage blocking the drainage system, floods could have been not that high.
If there's one good thing all of us Filipinos learn from this tragedy, it is that we Filipinos could face everything as long as we are together.
The government, television, station, artists, and private organizations have united to pursue citizens to provide assistance for the victims of this typhoon.
In these times, we feel our nationalism and its peak. We start to do bayanihan, a Filipino trait we should all be proud of.
Learning from these calamities should start with yourself, taking baby steps at a time, throwing your garbage on the right places, cooperating on tree planting programs, participating in eco-fun runs could be a start. We may not be able to prevent storms or typhoon from coming, but at least we all be prepared to face them.